Vijayashree. I am an economist by profession and a slow life enthusiast by nature. This is where I would like to spill my little soul searching pursuits. I am a confused millennial, like most of us are, at least like many of us are. And this is my very first attempt in creating a YouTube content. And leave alone content, this is the first time I'm addressing an audience so vibrant, so vivid, so dynamic, yet I have never seen it yet. So, why now? What do I intend to do with this YouTube channel? What all kinds of podcasts would I like to present through this channel? So, I thought that might be a good content for the first video. And the first question, why now? Like all decisions in my life, this decision was also a spontaneous one. Last night, I was going through my Instagram feed, and there I saw this gentleman doing a stand up. He was like, if you want to change the perspective about your own life, or if you want to have a different outlook about your perspectives, or maybe if you want to have more self confidence, or if you have to improve your communication skill, go start a podcast. Need not necessarily be for the revenue purpose, need not be for that public viewership process, but just get started. In the process, you will have an eye opening experience about yourself, about the outlooks you have, about the perspective you have. I thought, yeah, this guy seems to make sense. And here I am sitting and doing my very first podcast. So, again, the question, why now? My YouTube dashboard says that I started this YouTube channel way back in a fine afternoon of June 2014. It's almost like 9 years, close to a decade. What happened? Like I was doing what all other millennial people would be doing. I was studying, hunting for a job, hunting for a relationship, getting lost and wondering why. So I consider this podcast experience to be kind of a learning, more of a co-learning experience where I can share my insights, the experiences which I had, the experiments which I made with my life, and the lessons I partook to a larger audience. So, coming back to me, I am from India. I was born in Kerala, the southern state of India, and I am my family's first child. I was kind of a studious, kind of a brilliant student back in school and college. Altogether, I was this ambitious soul. And by 10th grade or by the age of 15, I was pretty sure that I'll be reaching somewhere very reputed. But what kind of reputation, that I don't know. Do I want to be a doctor? Well, probably yes. Back in my time, being a doctor was one of the proud career pursuits one could have. Parents used to rush to coaching institutes to get their kids into entrance examinations to become a doctor. Engineering? No, because my relationship with mathematics and engineering and science, STEM subjects in general, was a bit bitter. Civil service? Probably yes, because my parents wanted to see me in that shoes. A corporate lady? Definitely, I adored that corporate boss lady with that sleek costume, very busy life, bossing around people, traveling, making important decisions. I wanted that. In fact, I had this panorama of ideas of future roles which I could play. I was placing myself in different roles. But sitting back and thinking in my late 20s, I realized that I could not focus or please myself in one single role. I was a lost child. I didn't know where I wanted to become. That is well and good, acceptable for a kid. I have a nephew, he is like 3 to 4 years old, and he likes to be a doctor, an army person, a truck driver, all at the same time. Well, that is acceptable for a kid. But I was lost even in college. Leave alone this teenage years. Even in college, I was this lost soul. Why? Because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. really didn't know what I wished to do. I think that is where all these millennial crisis, mid-millennial crisis, quarter life crisis, everything stems from. The whole fancy word started where I was in conflict with who I am, who I am becoming, where I want to be, where I wish to be. So there was a constant tug of war. And maybe part of the reason was the kind of society I lived in, the expectations from my parents, from my teachers, from many others. So through this YouTube channel, I would like to share my experiences with respect to this midlife crisis I had. I really want you guys to sit down and think of where you want to be, what you wish to do. It necessarily need not be what you are currently doing. It might be entirely different from the current job you're doing or what you're doing for a living, your current relationship dynamics. It might be entirely different. Leave alone all those realities. Just sit back and think about where you want to see yourself, you wished to see yourself. And this moment I take it with a pinch of kind of cringe feeling, because I can speak volumes and volumes about how it feels, what are the emotions I have, what are the underlying thoughts we used to have or we have in this process. But in turn, if you get back to me and ask Vijayashree, what do you really want to do with your life? I'll simply crawl back to my shell and I'll say that, oh God, I can't even picture myself sitting in a cafe, having a coffee and enjoying the evening. That bare minimum I can't think of. So, this is not an easy question, I understand. But I really hope you figure out. So, through this podcast, I wish we could create a platform where people like me, having such wild thoughts, such experiments with life, can share, can communicate, and in the process, if we are able to, in this whole soul searching process, I would say, if we are able to figure out our answer to this quarter life crisis, midlife crisis, whatever fancy name we call it, that would be a great deal for me. So, on that note, this is my first attempted podcast on my YouTube channel, Attempted Podcast. Stay tuned for more such videos, and I'm really sorry I don't have any gears and necessities for having a real podcast. This is not a soundproof room. You might be hearing my neighbor putting his TV. There might be people, running around the streets, and I'm really sorry for having a poor user experience. But kids are like that. They fall, they try to walk, again they fall, and slowly, gradually, I believe that we will all be on a marathon track. Thank you.